No Chill Sports is an unapologetic, high-energy sports show where opinions fly fast and facts hit hard. The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the hosts and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of any affiliated networks, sponsors, or partners. Content may include passionate debates, bold predictions, and unfiltered takes that some viewers may find intense or controversial. Listener discretion is advised. If you're looking for chill, this ain't the place.
Hold up, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocketeer and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Bayou Recap, where the passion runs as deep as the Mississippi, and every play echoes through the heart of Louisiana. From Friday Night Lights to Super Bowl Sundays, we break down the best of the boot. This is where Louisiana sports lives, breathes, and roars. Want to say thank you for those tuning in. Got a good one tonight. We close, man. We are close. 17 days, T-minus 17 days, less than 3 weeks away. We'll be kicking off the season that everybody's looking forward to. Kicking off the season, taking on none other than Clemson in South Carolina. I'm not gonna call it Death Valley. I don't think you should either. But we know what we got, man. It's a big one coming up. Top 10 matchup as the AP polls in the coaches poll came out this week. Clemson is ranked number 4, if I'm not mistaken. LSU is number 9. So this is going to be a marquee matchup. For the first time in a long time, LSU will play on Saturday night. We won't be the only game on TV. Definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully, man, we got to shake this losing streak. We got to shake all this nonsense off, man. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to the game coming up. We'll have a special guest joining us shortly. Looking forward to having that conversation with him. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and let's look at some things. Let me see if I can pull up the AP top 25 for football for the preseason. Some people take stock in it, some people don't. But let's see what we got. Number 1 is Texas. Number 2 is Penn State. Number 3 is Ohio State. Number 4 is Clemson. Number 5 is Georgia. Number 6 is Notre Dame. Then you got Oregon, Alabama, LSU at number 9. Arizona State is number 11. Illinois comes in at number 12. South Carolina at 13. Michigan at 14. Florida Gators at number 15. SMU riding high off their debut season in the ACC and a playoff appearance in the 12-man playoffs at number 16. Kansas State at 17. Oklahoma at 18. Texas A&M at 19. Indiana at 20. Ole Miss at 21. Iowa State at 22. Texas Tech at 23. Tennessee at 24. And you got Boise State at number 25. With that, man, you've got 9, 10 SEC teams in the top 25. So that's I don't know if that's a record or how that sits, but this season is not going to be easy. On this list, you actually play. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 top 10 teams on this list. So it's going to be a A rough one, man. I say a rough one. I think LSU can get through. We're gonna. I'm looking for, like I said, looking forward to our conversation a little bit later on. Bring in our man Carter, the Power Bryant, so we can discuss and see his thoughts uh on this season, on these matchups, see how we feel. But how do you feel, man? What are your thoughts on the schedule now that the AP poll has come out? Your thoughts on taking on top 25 teams from the preseason polls. Do you care about the preseason polls? Do you think we'll do well? Let us know your thoughts, man. Uh, also, let's while we're here, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors over at W. W is a powdered energy drink aimed at gamers and individuals seeking focus. It's known for its clean ingredients, no jitters, and various flavors. W is also available in a hydration formula for those needing electrolytes. A W achieves its smooth, effective focus with a high-end taste and experience while using no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Try W today by scanning the QR code you see on the screen or visit them at the website bit.ly/no chill W. W, your taste buds favorite energy drink. All right. All right. While we're waiting, man, we did earlier today we actually for the last 2 days have put out looking at the red zone scoring on offense and defense for both for the top 25 teams in the preseason top 25. So while we wait for our man Carter, let's go ahead and take a look at this and break down kind of what it means as I pull this up. All right, here looking at it, man. AP top 25 red zone scoring, looking at the offense. And I know kind of looking at it on screen, it's really kind of hard to see. So let's go ahead and just switch over to the numbers. Looking at it, man, your top scoring team from last year, you had Indiana, followed by Miami. Indiana got 79% of their scoring. I'm sorry, 79% of their scoring in the red zone was via a touchdown. They had 9 field goals in the red zone. 22 passing and 33 rushing touchdowns. For Miami, they scored 92.3% in the red zone. 47 of those were touchdowns, 13 field goals. They had 23 passing touchdowns, 24 rushing touchdowns. But this is where I want to look here. Red zone scoring for LSU of 53 trips to the red zone. You have 44 scores, 83%, 30 were touchdowns. I'm sorry, 30 touchdowns, which is at 56.6%. You had 14 field goals, 17 passing touchdowns, and 13 rushing touchdowns. What's good, Tony? Y'all been on me today. I posted a picture, man, from 20 years ago. You know, a lot of people hadn't seen Pew without a beard or without locks before. So, yeah, definitely. But man, listen. LSU in the red zone, 83% scoring. That's not the lowest of the top 25 teams, but it's amongst the lowest. As far as red zone scoring, LSU has to do a little bit better, a lot better. Getting down in the red zone, kicking those fourth quarter field goals is just not going to cut it. People don't want to get down there and not score. Going for it on fourth down and coming up with nothing. It does nothing for you. It puts you behind the 8 ball. LSU fans want to get in the end zone. Of course. We had much more success last year throwing the ball. And of course, I mean, hey, 17 touchdowns when you got a gunslinger like Nuss. But then you also had 13 rushing touchdowns. We definitely got to improve on the running and get in there, push it in. A lot more teams who were playoff bound had 20 plus rushing touchdowns when they got to the red zone. Texas is surprisingly 79.7% at red zone scoring last year. That's not good. But they made it work. Penn State was at 89%, 89.4. Ohio State was at 88.7. Clemson was at 86.5. Georgia at 90. So you can kind of see how it's going when you get down in the red zone for most of your playoff teams. Arizona State, 75.4. So, hey, I mean, what does that tell you? SMU, 83.3. Indiana 92.8, as we mentioned earlier. So Iowa State 87.3. So again, these are your playoff teams, and this is how they did. But man, our guest is in the building. So let's go ahead, man, and get ready to bring them up. Without further ado, man, we had to bring in the guy. Get him on, and I want to tell him thank you so much because I hit him up today. He was like, hey, can you come on and talk some ball with me? He was like, no doubt, this is the time I got, and he's gonna, you know what I'm saying, let us have it, and definitely appreciate it. The man himself, the Carter Power Bryant. What's good, man? How you doing?
Dude, you always crush it on my show. Always just straight info. And here's the thing, I did not know you as a stat guy. I did this rebrand as an analytical ace. Let's get right into it. Let's put up that chart that you just had. Could I kind of look at it again?
Oh yeah.
If you don't mind. What's up? We say hi to Tony, Troy, and a few others. I told Troy to lock in, baby, because we're about to go hard in the paint. So we're looking at some red zone numbers here. You can see LSU's red zone attempts are lower. Some of that is because of the total raw amount of games, with Texas playing, so many more games than us.
Right.
So you do a little math there. It's about the same amount of red zone attempts per game, but you see that red zone score percentage is fine.
That's what I'm concerned about. Yes.
It's okay, but that touchdown percentage, 56.6, that is out of place. That is like a freaking CEO at a Coldplay concert. That is not where it needs to be. Okay. Holy moly. We've got to put the ball through the end zone. And there's a few different thoughts I have about it. Do you mind? You might have questions for me. I just want to rant. Go ahead. It's time for y'all to get on my level. I'm so sick. Tony, you're not on my level. Troy, can we boot them out? They're not on my level. They're not on my level. Because I'm about to freaking bring it. Because look.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about touchdowns in the red zone. It's already hard enough, right? It is already hard enough. But it can be easier in a couple of different ways, right? One way to avoid having to score touchdowns in the red zone is not having to be in the red zone. So what does that mean? Well, Garrett Nussmeier's deep passing needs to be better. Now, it's weird because you've seen it on other shows, my show, whatever. I have been labeled a Garrett Nussmeier defender when I feel as if it's been the opposite, where it was strange. The same thing happened with Jaden going into his final year, where I felt like I was like too complimentary of Jaden going into the year, because I thought he was going to have a big year. I know you thought he was going to have a big year, but he ended up having like a superhuman year that nobody could have expected. But the thing is I feel like I have been more critical of Garrett than complimentary, because he does need to run more, which he agreed needs to be better. But goodness gracious, his deep ball accuracy has got to be better this next season. So I understand like the red zone touchdown percentage is bad, but it gets even worse when you consider we missed so many opportunities of a 30-yard touchdown bomb here, a 40-yard touchdown bomb here. Go to UCLA overthrow to CJ Daniels, an overthrow to Chris Hilton in the Florida game, where if they catch it, they're running into the end zone. So you look at the final few games of the season. Yeah, they went up against weaker competition, but what happened? We hit the deep, explosive touchdown plays, right? Chris Hilton down to the 1 yard line. Then Chris Hilton versus right into the end zone versus Baylor. And then obviously the deep balls, the 2 deep touchdowns versus Oklahoma. Completing deep passes and getting the explosive play touchdowns are absolutely massive, right? And that's where a guy like Chris is going to help out. And that's where a guy like Caden Durham helps out. Caden has the rarest thing you can have as a running back, which is true home run hitting potential. It's not just because he's fast, right? If it was just speed at running back, it wouldn't really matter, right? I'm lucky to be friends with Jeremy Hill, right? Jeremy Hill wasn't the fastest, but he would explain to me he just had a knack for hitting that final gear to score so many 30, 40, 50-yard touchdown bombs for a guy his size, which is ridiculous. And that continued into the NFL where guys are even faster. So it's very interesting when you look at a back like him. It's a skill, right? Yes, that elite speed does help out, but the skill of hitting that extra gear is a different thing, right? So Caden's going to help out with our explosive play touchdowns. And I do think Garrett overall will be a better deep ball thrower to where you don't have to necessarily convert in the red zone. So it's more than just, hey, we need to score more touchdowns in the red zone. We just score more touchdowns in general.
Yeah, I completely agree. My biggest thing, we had several opportunities to score in the red zone, touchdowns. And this is something that's going back Brian Kelly's entire tenure at LSU, shall we say. So I can, I know a lot of people who have their, that you either love or you hate Brian Kelly. That I don't feel like there's any kind of lukewarm in the middle for a lot of people. I know you just kind of talked about it on your show with Joy. So, but yeah, that's one of the points. Yeah,
yeah. If you want to listen to someone that does not like him, that would be the person to talk to. Yeah. And she's justified. It's not just some hot take. BK has not lived up to his own words, and this to me, and I put it this way, and one of my favorite things about coming on this channel is that you, in particular, Pooh Bear, push me to be better, right? One thing I need to do a better job of is explaining the true pressure that Brian Kelly is under, right? And I failed my audience tonight because the thumbnail was the word pressure, and I was going to bring this up, and I didn't. So I'm glad I'm getting to do it here because a few of my guys, I see Donald, he came over. Pierce is one of my best buddies. Shout out Rustin, Louisiana, Pierce. But, Pooh, there's a difference between a hot seat and pressure, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Nobody rationally thinks that Brian Kelly is going to get fired unless things do become just disastrous this season. The roster won't be disastrous. It's good enough to where you avoid disasters. Now get this screen off because I want to be full screen and talk to your beautiful audience. Okay. Look, it's not a matter of is he going to get fired this next season. I don't think anybody rationally thinks that with the roster building ways that college football works now because you just have to pay him too much money. Now, can LSU call someone up and get that done? They can, right? There's at almost every Power 4 school, there's someone out there if they're pissed off enough that they can pony up the money, but they won't do it. But that does not absolve him from being under the most pressure in the SEC, right? Because, yes, you can make a strong case that Venables at a program like Oklahoma is under more pressure and he's on a legitimate hot seat, right? But Brian Kelly's under more pressure because Brian Kelly has said what he has said to the media. Brian Kelly has said Death Valley Jr. Brian Kelly has said, hey, year 3 is supposed to be our year, and so on and so on, and that we're going to be good running the football with, on paper, the best offensive line we've ever had, and we did the exact opposite, right? And the thing that you should keep in mind as an LSU fan is, I have Clemson winning this game personally. Now, I've pissed a lot of people off saying that, but it's just how I see it at this juncture. I'm not saying LSU can't win. LSU wins this game probably 4 out of every 10 times. All right. So, Clemson wins this 6 to 6.5 out of every 10 times. Right. The problem is, okay, I don't mind if you lose this game. It's just the pressure mounts, even though my rationality stays the same. And I will absolve you if you lose this game, even if you lose by 10. Now, if you get blown out, it's a different story.
Right.
It's just there's going to be so much pressure on Brian Kelly. So I get sick and tired of people telling me, hey, he's not on the hot seat. Yeah, you say, no shit. Okay? No shit. He's safe. You don't have to tell me that again. All right. That does not mean he's not under immense pressure. And it's two completely different things. And it still wears on a head coach who's not quite delivered. But what about Kalen DeBoer taking over for him? He's only in year 2. He's only in year 2, right? I mean, you can't have Jaden Daniels and then 2 more seasons and still no playoff appearances in a 12-team format. It just can't happen. So, I'm going into this because I've had guests like Daily Joy that are LSU fans just absolutely flame Brian Kelly. I've been a little bit more defensive of him, but it's put up or shut up time, and I'm ready to see some results.
Yeah. So let me ask this, Carter. With that being said, beautifully said, and I completely agree. We've heard some great things out of camp. I've heard not a single bad word about the defense. The offense is where everybody's concerned. So I'm ask this. This is a 2-parter. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid, and what's your biggest concern?
Yeah, obviously, I am drinking the defensive Kool-Aid. I've gotten to know a few people on this defense, and it sounds cliche, but they just keep saying, "Hey, Carter, this group is very close." And I'm like, well, this is a defense full of mercenaries, right? I mean, we went out and got the best player. I mean, this is truly a bunch of outsiders, right? These aren't kids coming home taking the Louisiana hometown discount, right? They really bought in. And obviously Blake Baker's strongest attribute is his relatability and affability, and that's been awesome. Patrick Payton has been awesome. AJ Halsey so far has done really good things, and Delane has been up to expectations. And my Jack Pyburn interviews got passed around quite a bit. Full disclosure, I'm not super close to Jack. I've talked to him obviously since the interview, but it was brief. But I've gotten to know his family. His family's all in on this season, right? So I truly do believe this defense is going to be great. Now the issue is the way we will run defense this year might be a bad matchup versus Clemson, because Clemson has 3 really big time wide receivers. And if you have 3 really big time wide receivers, if you want to play 2 high shell coverage and just have 2 deep safeties, that means Harold Perkins is going to be lined up out at the nickel over a wide receiver that's probably going to play pro football in their future. So that does concern me as far as a matchup is concerned, but this defense should be gnarly this year. I wanted to use a white boy frat term, gnarly, gnarly with the G, baby. Let's go.
Do you put much stock into some of these practice reports that you see? Some of the people who are there kind of giving their takes, and then the videos and stuff. How do you feel about those practice reports?
Yeah, I'm very clear. When I do this full time, I always tell people I'm not at practice, and I'm always very open about that. And I never want to sound like I know more than anybody that's actually there watching it. But as you know, Pooh Bear, I do talk to people that there's some that are in the media, some that play, some whatever. I'm not the LSU insider. I'm not Mike Scarborough, Shea Dixon level, whatever. But I try not to be. I just want the analysis. I just want to know who's really good.
I understand that to the fullest.
Right.
Yeah.
And what I tell people is to always be the most skeptical of wide receiver play, especially if there's an injury, right? So Aaron's been out at practice. So guess what? That's more opportunities for receivers to go out there and make plays. And receivers make the flashiest plays as well. So that just kind of stands out, right? It's like you're out in the hot sun, and then it's an exciting play. Like the only thing people have really mentioned from yesterday's practice repeatedly is Xavier Thomas making a grab over DJ Pickett, right?
DJ Pickett, yeah.
And it's impressive. But the thing that I always tell people is pay attention to where the practice reports are consistently bad. All right. And up to this point, the only position where that has been the case is guard, right? It's not offensive line. There have been days where Tyree Adams and Weston Davis have looked good. And that's against the better of the defensive linemen. I think most would agree that the ends at this point are better than the tackles. But the tackles with Bernard Gooden now in the forefront, they're starting to kick some ass, right? So what you must do is figure out what do you want to do at guard, okay? So let's just use some simple logic here. LSU has 5 guys that they are probably going to try at guard, all right? One of them at either right or left guard is probably going to be decent. I think we could at least admit that one of them is going to be decent. Can you get 2 decents, right? I don't think anyone at this point is going to think that we're going to be amazing at offensive guard, all right? But can we get 2 decents? Because offensive line is a weak link sport, all right? You saw it last year. LSU had 4 offensive linemen selected. It was the one that struggled the most that really held them back, and that was DJ Chester at center. So you'll get an upgraded center with Braylon Moore, you would like to think. And hopefully DJ Chester can be that left guard. And LSU wants him to be. He's on like an SEC community team. He's a great leader, works his ass off. It makes me very uncomfortable when I'm publicly critical of him. But, you know, this was one of the worst starter seasons in PFF history at LSU since they've been doing it since 2015. Yeah. And that's not – and the thing that's hard for me is that I disagree with PFF a lot, as you know. That you and I have discussed this actually on my show before, but I backed it up. I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with it. Like I oftentimes disagree with a few of their methodologies and all of it, but they would know better. They got a team of people. I'm one person.
Right.
Now I rely on.
Yeah, I definitely understand. Yeah.
I rely on your analytics, and I talk to other media members and people, fans of the channel, and I trust their ball knowledge. I spoke to a pretty prominent LSU offensive lineman this week. And no, it's not T-Bob. It's someone that's and T-Bob's great. Don't get me twisted. But you know, everyone knows. I don't think it's T-Bob because we're friends. But someone very prominent. All right. And I asked him, I was like, hey, what do we do? Is there any do you think if a guy is getting his ass whipped in practice, can they magically turn it on during a game? And he said yes. He said, and he was like, and he shoots me straight. He's not just saying it because he don't want to hurt any feelings. That's why I'm keeping him anonymous at this point. But he did say, Carter, I do think we do overrate practice reports on the offensive line, and I do think they could turn it on. I was like, well, no, it's Peter Woods. I mean, it's Peter Woods. It's a different thing. And he's like, yeah, it is a different thing. But he's saying more so, even if they have a bad game versus Clemson, he could see it getting fixed or those players getting better after a difficult first game.
Yeah. So we're not going to out Andrew Whitworth as your source.
Dude, I wish it was Andrew Whitworth. Okay.
I got a funny Whitworth story for you too. I'll have to tell you when we got more time. But I got 2 quick questions for you.
Yeah, that's good.
I got 2 quick questions for you. The first one, and I kind of ask this to people every year. What do you have to see to know that this team is legit? When do you know, oh, it's real? So basically, it's real when I see blank.
Yeah.
Or if I see blank.
Yeah, and I want to shout out Danny Girl. What you do, what I do, she's the biggest supporter. I've gotten to know Danny really well, and she has been the biggest stickler of LSU center play. Right?
Yes, she has.
Like,
yes,
like
has.
when Danny, like when she would be the first person in my chat in every live stream. I mean, she still supports now. Oh my God, I felt bad for Liam Shanahan. I felt so bad because before Liam ever took a snap, Danny Girl was like, "I'm concerned about center," and I was like, "Who is Danny Girl? Who is this?" And she was right on the damn money about it. So this one goes out to her. You got to run the ball. I mean, that's a big thing. You know, can you run the football? Clemson has been susceptible to the run. Georgia was able to run at them. Nate Frazier, actually, the freshman running back for Georgia, had his best game last year versus Clemson's ferocious front when they were fully healthy as well. So that's going to be something. And then obviously Jaden Blue, who profiles very similarly to Caden Durham. So if LSU can run the football, that'll be the big thing for me.
All right. And the last question I got for you, man. I know you're on a press junket today.
I'm on your time, baby. Let's go.
We had this picture come up, and we had some people ask us they want to find out what is going on, because I was like, man, listen, Razor Ramon has come out of retirement and he's going back to the WWE. What are you talking about? And I was like, no, that's Carter. It's like, what are you talking about? That is Carter. GQ, what's going on, man?
Okay, so here's the thing. This failed, right? If you put your whole body on there for only 4.7K views, I posted on IG and Facebook. It was weird because, like, when I was doing stand-up, a lady that would come to all of my stand-up shows actually messaged me today. She was like, is this an announcement that you're coming back to stage? Seriously. I was like, no, I hope that wasn't the expectation.
Oh, man.
So go back. Okay. Look up Travis Kelce really quick.
I saw the picture. Okay. I did see the Travis Kelce picture. Yeah.
Okay. So I went, the goal of this, I should have executed this better. The live stream that I do is at 6 p.m. Central. The Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce interview was also premiering at 6 p.m. Central. Okay. So I tried to steal their viewership to make people think that I was Travis Kelce, who had that same exact photo in a photo shoot. Okay. With GQ. Yes. The same exact one. All right, so you can look it up, Travis Kelce in a body of water. I don't even know what body of water it was. And yeah, that was it. So there you go, man. That was it. That was it. I shouldn't have given it out for free. So now if I launch an OnlyFans, I'm cooked. I'm absolutely positively cooked because I shouldn't have shown one of my nips. That was a problem.
Yeah, wait. Oh, here we go. This is the Travis Kelce, so people can see the.
You see?
Yep. Yeah.
And that was released yesterday. So I was like, okay, this is the hottest photo on the internet. That's like 100 million impressions on Twitter. I'm hotter than Travis Kelce, and I'm hairy as hell. And here's the thing: there's not many athletes that are hairy. If you ever look at athlete photos with their shirts off, men are rarely hairy. Okay. And here's the thing about us hairy folks. We rule the world, right? So for my fellow Greeks, my fellow Indians, my fellow Creoles, which I fall under, show off that hair, baby. Show some skin. There you go.
Danny's hit up our guy Parlay Thotty. He can make you viral. OnlyFans.
I don't know Parlay Thotty. Link me up, Danny.
It's man, Carter, man, I appreciate it. I did lie to you. I said one more. Your thoughts on the rest of the SEC?
I think Oklahoma is very overvalued. I would say at this point, Oklahoma is overvalued. I was undervalued on Auburn, but that's changed. All right. I'll tell you why really briefly because I do have to go. Auburn has an offensive coordinator that calls plays on first downs. And they have another guy that calls plays on second downs. And they have another guy that calls plays on third down. That doesn't work. That's Ed Orgeron. He tried that with Jake Peets and DJ Mangus, and it failed. So I don't know what the hell's happening, but Auburn's got a good roster, and I do think that they'll sneak up on some people, even though I think Jackson Arnold's not that good. So there you go.
Thank you, Carter, as always.
Let's go.
We'll have to do this again, man. When we get Ant back, man, we do this again. But man, I definitely appreciate you for coming through, Carter.
There you go.
Take care, and I'll be looking for you on your next press junket.
Tell Ant I held it down for the light skin delegation tonight. That was I was feeling a quota. That's why you had me on. I know
that limited twang. Listen, we needed that limited twang.
Yeah.
So we had to get you, Carter. But man, thank you again for coming through.
See you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, our good man Carter. All right. And also, man, before we get ready to get out of here, we got to give a shout out to our guy Kelly, DK at Kelly Creations. If you're looking to bring your vision to life, whether it's screen printing, embroidery, or custom tees, Kelly Creations has you covered. From bold logos to photo perfect prints, nobody does it better than Donald DK Kelly, the mastermind behind the magic. Give him a call today at 225-202-2625. Or shoot him an email at kellycreations225@gmail.com. And hey, he just might give you a little bit of that extra heat if you let him know No Chill Sports sent you. Kelly Creations, nobody does it better. Hey, thank you, Carter, for coming through. I know we talked about the red zone offense right before Carter came on. We talked about it a little bit while he was here. Before we get off, man, I do want to take a look, and I just messed that up. I did that completely wrong. But I do want to take a look at red zone defense real quick. Pierce said put them side by side. Man, I wasn't quick enough for Carter had to go. But yeah, it is hilarious. They actually look pretty. Carter hit the pose right. Just didn't have the look. No offense to my guy, but it's just how it went. But man, let's go ahead, like I said, take a quick look at red zone defense real quick. I will say this, looking at this on defense, LSU did a lot better compared to the rest of the top 25 on red zone defense. Here are the raw numbers. Coming in at the best was Ohio State. I mean, you can't expect nothing but nothing but the best from the number one rated defense of 2024. So they had the best red zone defense or opposing defense, or however you want to put it. LSU 75.6% scoring allowed. They allowed 58.5% scoring, which is 41 attempts. They allowed 24 touchdowns. 19 of those were rushing and 5 passing touchdowns. So they were actually really good in protecting the pass. We got to do a little bit better on stopping the run on defense in the red zone. And they did force 7 field goals. But again, like I said, if you look at this, some of these teams like Ohio State, Penn State, allowed 8 rushing touchdowns and 9 passing touchdowns. They forced 12 field goals. Like I said, if you go down this list, man, it's you can tell who was playoff team and who wasn't, or who was in the playoff and was kind of just there. Boise State, 44 red zone attempts. They allowed 33 scores. That was 12 rushing touchdowns, 13 passing touchdowns, and 8 field goals. But if you look at, like I said, let's look at, for instance, Ohio State. I know I keep raving on them, but only allowed 38 attempts in the red zone, 23 scores, 16 were touchdowns, 11 running, 5 passing, 7 field goals. Forget who was on here I was looking at, and it was kind of wow. Georgia forced 14 field goals. But yeah, man, that's it, man. Before we get ready to get out of here, man, y'all have any questions? What's good, Julian? Thank you for popping in. If y'all have any questions, anything y'all want to talk about before we get ready to get out of here, I'll try to be back on probably Wednesday. I'll be traveling to Sunday. I may do something Sunday, but we maybe try to be back on Wednesday to kind of talk a little bit more as we get closer and closer to kickoff. Next week will be game week, man. It'll be week 0. We've got a couple of games there. Actually, let's look at some of the games we do have next week for week 0. Actually, this might be better if I put myself in the corner here. Next week, you got Iowa State, Kansas State in Ireland. That's an 11 o'clock game. A top 25 matchup at 11 a.m. I mean, hey, it's football. You got UNLV, Idaho State. Fresno State takes on Kansas. Sam Houston takes on Western Kentucky. And Stanford takes on Hawaii. This is just these in FCS. I think we actually where you're going to see most of your better matchups probably. Incarnate Word takes on Nichols. Idaho State, Indiana. We talked about that one. Charleston State takes on Portland State. UC Davis takes on Mercer, and then you got the SWAC MEAC Challenge as North Carolina Central takes on Southern in Atlanta. That's going to be one to watch, man. You've got basically the runner-ups in both conferences be taking on each other in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. 2 historic programs. Definitely looking forward to seeing that. But yeah, man, thank y'all again for tuning in. It was great. Oh, someone is coming back into the country unranked. Yeah, I can agree with that. Something else about that, Pierce. Because most likely what happens is that they'll have a bye week, so you won't even be able to do anything about it for another week. So yeah, I don't know if it's worth it, but yeah, that's where we're at, man. Again, thank everybody for tuning in. Look for us probably on Wednesday to come back with the show. Maybe Sunday I may do a show, but we'll see. Apologize for Ant not being able to join us. He is dealing with a passing in the family, but our love and condolences to him and his family. But hey, we're gonna get through this. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back next week. And like that, we're out. Get my theme music going.
Why do they